My name is Christopher Stillar. I'm just your average, ordinary guy. I've been married to my high school sweetheart for over 20 years, and I'm the father of 4 children. I live a typical life, ordinary in every way. Oh yeah, did I mention? I hear and see dead people. I'm a spiritual medium, and this is my story. In the mid-90s, a traumatic and serious health crisis, combined with the death of my beloved grandmother, changed my life in ways I could never have predicted. Now it is I who is changing lives. Real people in real pain, dealing with unimaginable grief, getting the chance to connect one more time with those they loved and lost. Changing people's lives and healing their souls with the help of their loved ones in spirit is my daily work, it's my passion, and my life's purpose. Welcome to my world, and welcome to Seeking Spirit.
Hi, I'm Sandy. I've been to see Chris twice on a personal reading level, actually, no, 3 times. And I've been to a number of his shows to try and tap in on something there. But I didn't, but that's okay, that's why I'm here. And I'm hoping to hear from my dad and my brother and my late husband and anybody else that might come through. There's huge family on Mark's side, friends, everyone, like so many people. I'd love to hear from them all.
I want to welcome you, Sandy, and I want to thank you for coming and participating in this. First thing that I need to tell you is I have 2 or 3 male energies coming in around you. And I want to just say to you that prior to your arrival, the only thing I really received, but there was a reference to, I thought you, to be honest with you, but a female, and the potential thoughts of the move or moving, but I felt like nothing has been set in stone yet or actually followed through with, but they were bringing this up. And it would be, the feeling I had and why I thought it might be you was that there's this reference that this person would not move a lot. This person would be very fixated, or, you know, they set down the roots. So yes. Just know that that was being acknowledged prior. This is the tricky part for me. I don't know if your dad's passed or not. I need to tell you that there's somebody that's making me feel like apologies from the father figure or about the father. I don't know how else to say that. And I honest to God don't know. I have a male saying it or bringing this energy across where I feel like there's this sense of being sorry. But what I need to, I'm going to get a little wordy probably. I don't know if the dad is passed and apologizing, or if somebody's apologizing for the way that the scenario is with dad. That's the feeling they're giving me. So something seemed to be strained or difficult in the way that they're acknowledging it, whether it's the individual himself acknowledging it and apologizing, or whether it's somebody passed that's very much aware of the scenario in life. But it's where we're starting anyways, where I feel like I have to say, like, there's apologies and a sense of remorse. And when you were out front and before we moved in here to start your reading, there was information coming through where your whole life is about transformation, obstacles, perseverance. Yeah. And the way that you have chose to deal with the tragedies, the setbacks, and the hurdles, you are being applauded for. It doesn't mean that it's easy or has been easier on you.
It's terrible.
Okay, here you go.
A person can only take so much.
I can't explain the logic or the reason behind, like, why some people have it so difficult and some don't, but I need you to know that the male to your side just said, don't you tell her God doesn't give you more than you can handle, because she will kick you in the crotch.
Isn't that the truth?
He just said, don't tell her that. And then he's laughing. You have dealt with what you've dealt with in an incredible way. You have a resourcefulness about you that...
It's my OCD.
I will tell you, I think it's unequaled. I don't think you would know another person, whether going through the physical limitations that you've experienced and the hardships, that would have the outlook that you do about life.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He's saying you're welcome. It sounds crazy, but a lesser person wouldn't be able to deal with what you've dealt with. They just wouldn't. The thing that has worked for you, earlier on it might have seemed like it backfired in many cases, but apparently you're a very stubborn person.
Yeah.
And when you're younger and when you don't have the physical limitations that were happening and you haven't had to deal with tragedy, the persistence and stubbornness, you know, people can get walls up and they're like, oh, Sandy just wants to have her way, or Sandy just doesn't know how to say no, or, you know, whatever it is. But it was all set in motion for what you've gone through in the latter part of your life at this stage. And
it's what made me strong.
It's gotten you over it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're through it, but it's gotten you over it, because otherwise you would never have been able to survive what you went through. And that's what I'm hearing to just tell you, okay? I do believe I have a husband, the male to the side, contemporary. But I think I have somebody that's passed from cancer that is not him. So just know that I'm saying that, okay?
Okay.
But I do feel like I'm talking male-based energy still, okay?
Okay.
And it feels different than what I would interpret as the husband, or that connection as your husband. But I definitely have a cancer reference coming through. Living or deceased, do you know where the BR male name would come into play? That to me would be like Brian or Brad or something of that nature that I'm hearing.
With cancer?
No, don't necessarily.
Okay.
The cancer person might be referencing it. It doesn't mean it's his name.
Yeah, I have a BR, an older gentleman. He's not passed.
That's fine, because names can be living or deceased. I never can tell. I never get the notification. I just know that they want me to acknowledge, like the Brian, the Brad, something BR.
Yeah.
So I don't know who, I don't know why, but somebody seems to be making reference. Would you understand possibly why without explaining?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I care about.
I'm sure he'd love to get a message too.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. When you ask the questions of, like, to God or to whoever it is in spirit you're asking, but you know you're not a bad person, but you think, it's like you say, I know I'm not a bad person, but God, why is this happening? It has nothing, and he's got his hands on your shoulder, Sandy, and he wants you to know it's got nothing to do with, like, you being a bad person, an angelic. Father figure pass for you? Now you're going to have to find out detail-wise before you know necessarily who it is, but I just need to be clear as I can. I have a dad or a father figure coming through.
Yes.
Something really buggered up or muddled up the brain.
Yes.
That's all I know. I couldn't tell you if it's disease or a stroke or mental illness, but there's something that is like majorly buggered up with the head, is the way that he brings it through. If I told you, or if I was connecting it to the apologetic feeling, would you possibly understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you're anticipating this, would want to hear this, if you're ready for it.
I'll hear anything.
Okay. It's not life-altering, but it is sorry, and there is an acknowledgement of the difficult, I feel exasperated from your standpoint.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything he's saying is about from your standpoint, Sandy, not from his, okay? But he understands the whole frustration, the sense of the way you would try to, in a communicative way, bring things across and then feel shut down. stopped in your tracks, like a wall is there and there's nowhere to go. And I feel like you're not accustomed to that. It's like you want to be able to say what you need to say in life, but I feel like this male didn't allow it. And he just makes me feel like he's so sorry for the effects that that has had on you. He's so probably coming through different than in life, and normally I'll say, you know, they'll always come through in a representative way of what their personality was like in life, so you know it. He's clearly not. He's coming through, and I don't pretend to even know him, but in a softer, more caring, giving way. Okay, yeah. So I don't want you to think I'm trying to portray the way he was in life.
No,
it's the polar opposite. Yeah. Which is not typical in the readings, but he puts his hands on your shoulders, like on both, like he's standing behind you, and you have to understand, because whether you've been tested or what, when you ask the questions of like to God or to whoever it is in spirit you're asking, but you know you're not a bad person, but you think it's like you say, I know I'm not a bad person, but God, why is this happening? It has nothing, and he's got his hands on your shoulder, Sandy, and he wants you to know it's got nothing to do with like you being a bad person, an angelic person, a giving person, and he wants me to underline giving. Underline giving.
I do.
Underline giving.
I do. And that's why I don't understand why I have to go through this. It's just not fair. It just isn't, because I am so strong and I am so giving. And it's just not fair.
What I can tell you that will appear
God won't give me more than I can.
No, I'm not telling you that. God, I want to keep my anatomy intact, so I am not saying that. What I want you to know, though, is bad things happen to good people, and good things happen to what we deem as bad people.
Yeah.
And sometimes there seems to be no sense or logic or understanding to this. It is not about the type of person you are, the personality, the ethics, your morality. It has nothing to do with your essence of Sandy being a generous person, a giving person, and a caring person. There are sometimes, in all honesty, and not to make you out to be a martyr, because you're not perfect. You're not perfect, but over and over and over in life, we often see in the media and in stories around the world how sometimes the most wonderful people are either inflicted or have to deal with the most severe issues in life, and it just doesn't seem fair.
No.
I want you to know, he says, don't equate the fact that you must, in your mind, even though you know you're a good person, you must say, I must be bad, or I must not be worthy in order to go through the hurdles. Yeah. That is not the case. This is not a case of 1 + 1 = 2, he says. It's a separate aspect altogether. He laughs because when you get to the other side, when your time comes, you know, because we all have that moment, whenever that is. And for the record, it's not soon.
Yay.
It's not soon. Yeah, you will want to give your spirit a kick in the ass, he says, because you will realize then, and only then will you fully get how much of this life you have chosen before you ever got here. And then you'll understand it. And then you will understand it. You are in many ways a teacher to many people without having to get your education as far as being a teacher.
Yes.
Like university. And a lot of people receive inspiration from you, apparently. And people that don't even know you, just meet you. Just meet you briefly, he says. This is the father figure, the older male talking. And he makes me feel like you have impacted more people, that has given them the hope or the light to maybe see or view things a little differently than they had prior to meeting you.
Wow.
Because honestly, if you can, you know, feel like crap inside
Yeah.
But at the time, inspire somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what a teacher does. So he's not trying to sugarcoat this to say like what obstacles and pressures. And should we just say, for full disclosure's sake, can I just state what you have?
Yes.
Which I previously know, multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
And you've had some pretty severe and close losses in your life as well.
Yes.
So I just want to be clear with that. I don't know all your losses, and I don't know who will all be coming through, but I do know I have 3 males coming in around you at this point in time.
Okay.
What would be, crazy as it may sound, do you have an owl, or have you seen the owl outside where you live?
We have an owl. It's beautiful.
Really?
I've seen it a little while ago, but I hear it all the time.
He is okay, you understand 2 males possibly coming through at your level or to your side.
Mm-hmm.
You also understand one of them having cancer, but only one of them?
Yes.
Okay. He just makes me feel, I hope you don't think this is general or generic, but he makes me feel like he's supporting you, and that it's almost like his arm or his hand would be under your arm as you go through life, and he's always just a step behind you. Of all people, he wants you to know that he's got you in that way, and he'll do what he can to keep you level, both emotionally and physically.
Wow, thank you.
Do you have a deck on your house?
A what?
A deck?
Yes.
Do you ever go out there? Because he's talking about being out there with you, and there are like moments that are like, I don't know if they're rare or what, but they seem like solitude and quiet.
Yeah.
And he says he loves being there, but I don't know how often you do it, but I feel like I'm talking your place
Yep.
and the deck, and you getting out there and just kind of sitting or enjoying the environment. So I don't know what that means, but...
Yep. It's my little piece of serenity.
So you do utilize it?
Yeah, as much as I can. As soon as the heat goes down a bit.
Yeah, it's been very humid.
Mm-hmm.
He just talks about, I'm not seeing people with you, like when you're on the deck.
No.
The moments he's talking about, I'm not seeing your kids, I'm not seeing partners or
it's
friends.
just me.
And he just wants you to know that he's there with you. There with you. It must be a hard thing for you not to focus on the fear of what could come or what, but it's I would tell you, your fear of what you dread about the future that hasn't even happened and may never happen, strong words here, cripples you more than the physical disability of MS.
Because it's an emotional disease.
But your whole fear thing that I'm being shown is, the whole thought if you were ever to end up in a wheelchair. And it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. But the fear of it seems to cripple you more in life than the actual MS does at this stage. And I don't know if you fully understand that.
Yes, I do.
But that's what he's talking about. And I want to say that I can only imagine. I can only surmise what you must think. But he's making me feel like you have to get what I would call a handle on, or be dominant with it as you are in other areas of your life, of trying to not feed the fear. Not feed the fear, he says.
Okay.
Okay?
Easier said than done.
He knows that. He knows that.
I watch people walk. And it's so cool. Sometimes I dream about walking. It's a nice feeling when I wake up. It's like I walked. Yeah.
He makes me feel like you had a lot of your lifetime where you walked.
Did a lot of work.
Hold on to that. Hold on to those memories and what that felt like. The difference is now you truly appreciate those memories.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anybody that has their mobility, their health, their whatever, we just take it for granted. It isn't until life throws us a curveball that we truly appreciate it. And did you ever take the kids to Disney World after he passed?
Yes. Andrew.
Okay. Because he's making me feel like, I don't know how long ago, what this means, but of all the things, he wants me to talk about him being with you guys in Disney World after his death.
Cool.
And just the joy that came for him to be a part of that. You might never have been aware of it, or known that he would be aware of it, or had the signs or the moments that felt real to you with him there, and yet he wants me to disclose that to you now, that he was with you, both.
That's beautiful.
How's your backing up skills?
That's funny.
I know, he's laughing.
Oh my God, that's funny. I'm working on it. I have to remember to put my beeper on. It seems to work better.
Honest to God, I thought there should be, like, you know how a person with a cane, like that's blind would have a cane with the white tip?
Yes.
And I feel like you need something sticking out from your bumper that would be like not even the beeper like on dump trucks and stuff backing up, but something that will like hit something without causing damage, because I feel like you're kind of, at times, in all honesty, it's almost like you're in bumper cars. So I don't know but he's laughing. So
Yep.
him being maybe very much a control freak in life about the driving aspect, or needing to be the driver and stuff. But I feel like he's talking about being in the car with you, and he laughs about your backing up skills.
Oh, I've been doing good.
Good?
Not today. Today was a bad one.
You didn't hit something just accidentally, a little smidge, did you?
No, but I came this close to the car beside me.
Okay.
Backing into the doctor just this morning.
Okay. Well, he laughs and he holds his breath, is what he says.
He's laughing pretty hard.
He very much was when I asked you that, and then you had your big moment of laughter, but he's with you a lot, obviously. He's with you a lot. And what would be, crazy as it may sound, do you have an owl, or have you seen the owl outside where you live?
We have an owl. It's beautiful.
Really?
I've seen it a little while ago, but I hear it all the time.
He is talking about this owl that would be outside your house.
Yep.
And just the fact that he's aware of it and that he's there with you.
That's so cool.
It's such a, you know, a sign or a symbol perhaps too, I don't know, but of all things, he could have talked about any bird.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the last time I seen a real live owl.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know how plentiful they are, but he wants me to talk about the owl connection for you.
Nice. I'll think of him every time I hear it.
Well, my father came through first, which was awesome. He was who I wanted to talk to. And my brother was here beside me, and my husband was here beside me. All three men came through right from the get-go. So that was awesome. Well, my father passed away June 13th, 2013, just this year. He had been very sick for a number of years, but then old age leukemia set in, so that was a big problem. I was with Dave for 11 years. He died after 6 years of marriage. He was electrocuted. And then shortly after that, I came up with MS. So you figure, okay, so my husband gets electrocuted and I get a nervous disorder. What the heck's going on? Why?